Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Of course, it is Comics News Today, and I am Chester C. Busby III, and of course, I'm also joined by the Denali Lama. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome. Um, I'm just experiencing the first days of the May showers, so we're going to be no more sun for a time being. It's all going to be rain, rain, rain.
Rain, rain, hot afternoons, yeah. Sultry evenings
Right?
are coming, absolutely. But
Yeah.
welcome to everybody coming over here and joining us for Comics News Today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I don't know if we'll be able to get it all done, man, because we do have, of course, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Drone Recorded Fan Edition, which we'll be running, and we really have a lot of fun with that. But we're going to do our best to get to as much as we can. But of course, we want to sit and chat with you a little bit before we get into that. Do keep in mind of all our links down below. We'd love for you to check them out, particularly the Fanspeak one over on Facebook. Excuse me, Fanspeak on Facebook. That is growing and is doing great, and we're seeing a lot of people interacting. It's really cool. We're also four away from 600 subs, man. Wow, right?
Yeah.
That is so
I'm
cool.
happy. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And I guess we should talk about a little bit of the changes that's been going on because people are like, "Wait, we had Bunny Vision yesterday. What's going on?" and all that.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah, no, go.
go
You
ahead.
go ahead and explain to him. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So what's going on is Chester has some new changes, some new promotion that he has to take care of because of his new obligations. So we have to shuffle everything around, which means that Tuesdays are still going to stay as Bugs Bear Basement. We're still looking for players to join us for from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time
I got one, by the way.
for awesome
Yeah,
for Vampire the Masquerade, and it's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be cool. So if you're interested, hit us up so we can get you involved, and it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Um, but because of Chester's job obligations, he can't do Fridays anymore for FanSpeak, so we have to move that to Saturdays. Thus, that means that Bunny Vision movie night that was used to be on Saturdays are now Wednesday to be a hump day, which is good because it gives us, time to hang out. And then after the movie is over, you get to go to Blacklist Universe and watch artists draw awesome creation and vote on it.
that's true. That
Um,
is true.
so, join us for every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to actually do John Wick Chapter 2 in honor of the upcoming John Wick Chapter 3 that comes out the week afterwards. Of May 8th. So the week after May 8th, yeah,
Yeah,
that movie
exactly,
comes
Nick.
out.
That is a George quote. Throw him in the airlock. Yeah, George's character is a bit violent. It is. It's true.
Yeah.
Sorry to see that Night Pope is says she is more sick. I'm sorry to hear that. But do keep in mind, guys, hit that share button, please, for us so we can get more people in here with us. We are a live streaming show, so we'd love to have people live with us. But hitting that share button and let your friends, family, and extended community know what's going on so they can be part of it. That helps us out a lot. But yeah, no, we've had some schedule changes, but it's all right. I think it's all good. Bunny Vision Movie Night being on the Hump Day on Wednesday itself, I think is a good place for it actually. And having fans
Mm.
speak on Saturday is, once again, I think a good place for it. Excuse me. We
Right.
will have some content on Fridays eventually. I just need to take bite that bullet, take that time to lock up my computer for so many hours while I actually turn this channel into a brand, and hope that we don't lose every sub we have and all our videos. But unfortunately, that's what dealing with YouTube is. But I do need to get that done so I can pass out some keys to these guys and let them do their own content, which I think could be cool, right?
Yep.
But Nevertheless, I guess as we wait a little bit here to see if we get more people in before we jump into our news, I guess I would talk about the fact that I went and saw Shazam yesterday. Have
Oh,
you seen that
nice.
yet?
No, I haven't. That's another family thing that the family wants to watch together. So I will
Yeah,
bow down to the family.
yeah. No spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah.
I did the end game one because it kind of ticked me off, but because with that movie they made it, instead of making a decision that hey, This is the last hurrah of these heroes. Let's hold them up and give them a blazing, going out with a blaze of glory type of ending. They said, "Oh no, this is the last movie with them. We need to tear them down and build up the other ones for the future." They made that decision. But Shazam is nothing like that. And like I said, no spoilers, but it's all right. It's all right. I mean, that's about all I can say, and that's what everybody else is saying about it too. So it's
Well, is it all right like Aquaman, or is it more all right like, oh, this is actually better than I expected? Wonder
Oh, no,
Woman.
no, no. I would like to give it an average score, which would be a 5, right? But
Hmm.
I think the writing and the directing is too low for that. I'd have to give it a 4, I think. I don't know. I want to give it a 5, but I don't think it deserves it. But I'm going to give it a 5. But I'm going to give it a 5, even though I think it deserves a 4. But yeah, it's just.
It feels like a 5, but it's really a 4.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and
All right.
it's the first two acts are okay. It's really the third act that lets it down, which tends to be kind of the trend of things, isn't it? Right? They can't end the things properly. But yeah, I don't. There's no need to get into it. It is what it is. There's not a lot of really good movies for us to watch right now, anyway. So Shazam's not going to offend you in any way. I did hear a lot of reviewers saying it's very hokey. I didn't get that at all, actually. I think it could have used more hokiness, to be honest with you. But I think the real struggle was they made certain decisions, which I can't talk about, but they made a couple decisions that if that's the decision they wanted to make, they should have done it much earlier in the movie than when they did. And the Zachary Levi guy,
Hmm.
he's really good at the goofy, kooky stuff, especially him interacting with the kids. I think
Yeah.
he's great at that. But when it comes to the serious moment where he needs to be a hero, he sucks bad at that. I think
Well,
that that.
I could have told you that with Chuck.
Mm. But
I mean, if you
overall, eh,
if
it's a 5. Go
it's a
enjoy, get some
5.
popcorn, and just sit down and enjoy the movie. Shut your brain off. Don't think about it too much. Don't question it
Oh,
because when you start doing that, you're gonna not like it as much. But it's not. It's nothing. It's
okay.
nothing offensive though.
All right. Well, I know that people were talking about already putting the identity and gender politics because of the family and all that stuff in
It's
there to
very
claim
little
it.
of it though, dude. It's very little. It
Hmm.
really is. It's
Okay.
not that much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they had to have one of every color. But I think one of the problems we see with a lot of movies, a lot of comic book movies, particularly with DC, is the people who are making the movies, producing it, etc. They don't know anything about the characters. I mean, this Shazam movie is a good example because basically the level of knowledge they had on Shazam was basically Wikipedia at best. They just don't know the character, right? They have the general idea. It's a boy who becomes a man. There's a wizard. That's about it. They don't understand the character. They've never read it. They didn't do their research. I don't get that. I mean, obviously, I know a lot more about Captain Marvel just offhand than they do. But I guarantee you, if you gave me a movie with Captain Marvel, I would have read every damn thing there was with it. I would have done interviews. I would talk to creators. I would have done everything I could to make sure I truly understood the character, right? I would have done that work. But they're not doing that, dude. They just a cursory understanding, and we see this all over the place, and that hurts it, of course, from a fan's point of view. Maybe what they're doing is they don't care about the fans, and it's just trying to make a general story about this generic idea of the IP. Maybe I'm
Bing,
not
bing,
sure.
bing. I'm pretty sure that's on the mark.
Yeah,
They're not catering these films for us. They're
no,
catering the film for the general audience who doesn't know better, who doesn't collect the comics, who hasn't read the comics, because the general audience just wants to be entertained.
true, but see, the problem you run into with that, though, is these characters became popular out of hundreds, if not thousands of characters. They became popular for a reason, right? And it's the
Right.
story arc. It's the story that made them popular. So, hey, you have a popular character, maybe you should go back and see why it was popular and hit on those same points, right?
Come on, this is Hollywood elitist status. You think they're gonna actually say follow the comic books? I mean, as much as we like to rag on, Kevin Smith, he did do an interview like years back when he came from. doing the movie into the comic books,
Hmm.
and he remembers how much there was like this. He's like, I remember there was like a disdain about screenwriters and writers from Hollywood, writing comic books, and I'm like, dude, I'm writing a comic book that's awesome,
Yes.
but my peers, disdained it like, oh, you're writing, these things for these stories, these crappy stories. It's like television. It's
Well,
like awful.
I think Kevin Smith is a proper nerd. I mean, he is one of us,
Yeah,
but at the same time, he's way overly emotional and feminine in his manner. And that might
yeah,
just be the generation he grew up in or the family he grew up in. I don't know. I don't want to get into the politic of it, but he is
yeah.
extremely soft and feminine, for one, and two, he's
I
made.
totally agree.
Well, I mean, it
Yeah,
is what it is. And
yeah,
two, he has allowed himself to become a shill. And,
yeah.
I don't know if we can even judge that because I mean, he has to survive in the industry. He has to try to make a living, take care of himself and any family he has and stuff like that. So
Right,
I kind of get it. But this is really the issue people have with Kevin Smith. But no, he's
right.
an absolute nerd, dude. Yeah.
No, and I recognize that, and I'm not saying everything has to be taken from the gospel, but what I was trying to say with the example from Kevin Smith is, Hollywood doesn't like, they think it's a lower form of entertainment. Like if you talk about a writer and a fantasy writer, a writer would, a dramatic writer, a fiction, would say, oh, these fantasy writers are a low form of writing,
Yeah, no,
kind
I
of
get
deal.
it. It's elitism. We see that all the
Yeah.
time. But I never had too much trouble with Kevin Smith. I mean, he's been crying a bit too much lately, I think. But actually, the only real issue I ever had with Kevin is he's too vulgar. He swears for the sake of swearing, and it's he's way too vulgar. And it's like you don't need to be that vulgar, dude. You really don't. you know, if it was just your natural character, like for instance, you ever watch an interview with Eminem or something like that?
Yeah.
Now that guy, whether you like him or not, I mean, he's pretty bad human, I think. But the dude's a genius when it comes to lyrical poetry, right? He really is.
Right.
And he's vulgar as all get out, but it's his character. You can see it. He's not trying to do. It just is what he is. Kevin is trying to be shockingly vulgar. You can see it, and sometimes it comes off really awkward, right? But that's the only issue I have. But interesting, a little
Right.
talk about Kevin Smith. But we do need to get to our news, and I do see here
Yeah.
that Night Pope says that I don't think anyone cares about Shazam spoilers. Well, Denali does. March Hare says, "Hey all, hey March Hare, what's up, dude?" Roger Heller says, "Hey all, I loved hanging with you guys with the movie. It was awesome." Yeah, no, that is an awesome movie, and I didn't get to see the whole thing because I had to go over to Drone Talk and their little $200 writers giveaway show. But I hope you guys had a good time with it. I had a great time over there. It was a little bit of a minefield for me though, dude, because I know pretty much all those people that came in and tried to be a part of the contest, but I had to judge it, and I did it honestly. I kind of felt bad a little bit about it, but that is what it is. The person in the end, Macho Dan won, which is cool. He had the best story overall, though.
Well,
But
that's good.
it is good. And it's a cool little format too. I mean, we do a lot of things on our channel and many other channels that are trying to do things to showcase the various aspects of the comic book world, right? And that's cool. And having a show where you have give them a short period of time to come up with a story pitch, it lets you
Hmm.
to allows you to showcase writers, and that's hard to do, man. So that's really cool.
Right.
You know,
I mean, everything is everything. Whether who wins or succeed, you're showcasing something,
that's
some
right.
new aspects that people don't consider. So that already everybody wins.
That's
You know.
true, and everyone was nice. No one was being rude or anything like that, so it was all good. But actually, I have a show here coming up Saturday on Angleteen's channel, I Love Comics, and I am going head to head with just some guy in a comic book knowledge challenge.
Ooh, that's gonna be that's gonna be a one-sided fight.
You think it might be him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
unless you get lucky and they give you a topic that you know passionately about.
that's true. Yeah, because I mean, I know a lot about comic books, but it's not my forte. There are other areas of nerddom I'm far more educated in, you know. I think I'll represent myself okay. I have a feeling he's going to kick my ass. Yeah, I agree. But that's all good too. I love
Yeah,
that some guy. I think his show is awesome. I've been watching it for a long time, so I'm very happy to do that. But my main goal is just to represent FanSpeak the best I can, really, to not be a complete idiot is my main goal. So. But it's going to be fun
yeah.
though. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's cool that Engeltein does that show, you know. And it's been a while. He hasn't had a Thunderdome in a while, he said. So this is his first one back. So yeah, it'll be cool. But you guys go root for me a little bit. Give me some of that psychic energy so I cannot be an absolute idiot, please. Thank you. All right, let's move over. Let's move over here and let's go to our first little story we have. And let me share with Denali so we can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That would be helpful, I think. And here we go. All right. So uh, now, Denali, this is an interesting thing going on here. What's up with this, dude? This is coming from Bounding
All right.
into Comics, right?
Right. So a couple days ago, there was a story about several um, comic book indie comic books campaign that was fully funded, but the funds weren't distributed by Indiegogo, and one of those were Rebel Yell issue number 2. Also, Peter Simeti, for one of his campaigns, said he was also held up. So that's why I wanted to bring the attention that apparently Indiegogo are starting to do a trust and safety review thing. So before they distribute the funds, they would review the successful campaigns to see if it meets their policy or whatever. And I guess this is a fallout from the whole alt Q thing with Vox Day and whatever. Um, and it's kind of weird because they should do that at the beginning of the campaign instead of at the end of the campaign.
You would think, right?
Right.
But that's
So,
laziness. You can see that offhand. That's laziness. They don't
yeah,
want to do it unless they have to. And of course, most projects don't fund, right?
exactly. So you're holding up the project because they're waiting for it to be funded because a lot of these creators don't have the money to do the printing until they get it. And I saw that happening a lot. It happened with Mike Miller. It
Hmm.
happened with um, Cat Rhoda and with
Gary.
the yeah Gary and all the other people. There's always this delay between fund being distributed and funds um, when the project ends. And for a lot of creators, they need that fund ASAP so they can start, printing and delivering
Oh, they
that
know that.
for their audience.
They
Yeah.
know that. And of course, the issue that really that jumps out to everybody, I'm sure, is trust and safety team. Well,
Mhm.
how much more vague can you possibly be? And exactly who gets to decide what is safe? I mean,
Right.
really, this is extremely arbitrary for a business to be doing, don't you think?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. This must be like a fallout, something that they recently implemented because of Arc Haven's stuff and whatever's going on with them still.
Yeah.
Um, so just for those creators who are going to do Indiegogo, just be aware of this situation as well.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it is what it is. We knew it was coming. Kickstarter already does this kind of thing, and they're
mhm,
far less open-minded, to be honest with you. John says
exactly.
that how to not be an idiot. Admit when you don't know something. Oh, dude, I'm happy to do that, and I freely do. So, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, Lorenzo says I can never remember which of Chester's shows are on which day. Well, they're all kind of the same show, really, Lorenzo. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing something. you know. Now, some days we'll do something that's a little bit more leaning toward role playing or comic reviews or movies or stuff like that. But in general, every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing something. And this channel is FanSpeak unto itself. It's all some form of FanSpeak, but I wouldn't really worry about it so much as far as what they are. The only days that are really odd are Tuesday and Wednesday, and they're right next to each other, right? So Tuesday is we're doing something that is not that is nerd related. Right now we're doing some kind of we're doing role playing games, tabletop role playing games, and on
Hmm.
Wednesday we're doing our Bunny Vision movie night, which is we watch a movie today together, and on the hump
Right.
day, middle of the week, come together, watch a movie. Sounds fun. Right, so that's the only
Right.
really odd day. Every other day is really kind of sticking to us somewhat of a. It's about comic books type of thing.
Right. And only this, and now starting this Friday, there's not going to be anything for the time being until we can start making contents for Fridays to upload, or we get the keys to the house, so to speak.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, this trust and safety thing is certainly going to come back in people's face. And of course, we look at this right here. This is called Rebel Yell. He's got the Confederate flag on his face. And
Hmm.
some reason that's a bad thing. Well, you know what? I didn't grow up there, but I lived quite a bit in the South. My dad's from the South, and we'd go every year and visit down in Mobile, Alabama, or Mississippi. And so I have a lot of experience with the Southern man, as it were. I've lived there, and I'm not. I'm a Yankee. I am, I'm a New Englander, but I did live there. And here's the thing: that flag does not represent what it might once have. It originally was this resistance for taxes and misrepresentation and stuff like that, which got turned on to the fact of, hey, let's take advantage of the fact that they have slaves and let's try to destroy their economy, and it became about slavery. That's how that all happened, and it's all well and good. I'm glad we were able to end slavery. Actually, it's a good thing, right? But what
Right.
that flag may well have represented back then is not what it represents now. I cannot tell you how many black people I've seen driving around their car with this flag sitting in the back. It is not a racist symbol. The black people certainly don't think so.
No,
It's
I
a
seen a
flag of the
couple.
South. It's
I
about resistance. It's about our culture is separate and unique, and we need to keep it that way. That's really what it is. Chester supports the racist rebel flag. Yeah, in as so much that I love the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah. Mhm. But I'm just
Hey,
telling you, the
I
people who
like
live
I like
down
to
there
cut.
don't think that way. But obviously, that's the problem, right? I mean, it's because they see this flag, and then this is racism, and they're gonna bug them and mess with them most they can, because you got some idiot sitting in there who has no brain whatsoever, and is just some little sheep that follows the wrong wolf who is leading them, and wants to go and destroy anything that is dictated to them to be wrong. Wrong think. And that's the reality of the world we live in. And I think it'll be like this for a couple more years until it implodes on itself and burns itself down, and then we'll go into something that will become ultra conservative, which will probably be just as much a pain in the ass situation, because that's the way it goes. It goes extreme this way and extreme that way. They never found a frickin' middle. Pisses me off. But anyway, good luck to these guys. Hopefully, I think it will eventually get passed through. I think they're just wasting, dragging their heels to
I,
cause them angst
I think
and frustration.
right. I think we need more centralists to just start talking more, and being a louder voice to the both sides. It does, because if you think about it, if you're saying, "Oh, well, you're a centralist," both sides say dislike you anyway, so you might as well just speak up and just say, "Look, there's more of us than you, so shut the heck up."
Yeah.
And move on.
That's the truth, right? Because we're all
Yeah.
busy working and doing stuff. We don't have time to go out there and protest and do the stuff they do because they have free time on their hands. Obviously,
Right.
it's always the problem. But let me see here. March Hare says, "I wonder how much of the IGG issue has to do with outside instigators. I'm sure it has a lot to do with it, dude." Let's see here. Those black people. This is from SJW Joshua. Those black people with the rebel flags are obviously self-hating Uncle Toms. Well, the funny thing about that Uncle Tom, it also works in an extremely negative way against the black. Well, a
Good
certain,
job for stereotyping SJW, Joshua.
yeah, good
Good job.
stereotyping. But actually, in a
Yeah.
certain demographic of the black community, there is a real problem with this, and one of it is the fact that if you go to school, you study hard, and you do well on your tests, and you try to become smart and better yourself, the other black kids around you consider you to be an Uncle Tom because you're trying to be like the white person. Now, I cannot believe how much self-hating and self-racism is involved in that statement, because you're saying that only white people can be smart. What? But this is
Right.
not white people doing this. This is not yellow people doing this. This is the black people doing this to themselves, man. That is weird. That's like Twilight Zone weird stuff. But it's real. It's reality though. And I know you know more about this than I do because you work in that type of your job
Um.
it covers this kind of stuff. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's why would you think that way? That's so weird. Knowledge is
It's
power, baby.
it's brainwashing.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of brainwashing, and those individuals who are successful, they even say it. It's like it's so hard to get out, and because nobody wants you to succeed. Because if you succeed, it makes them to look bad because
Yeah, I
they could
know
have
it could
been
be some of
something,
that too.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a problem
and
though. They need to fix that. That I think that I mean, there's obviously a lot of little issues that need to be fixed in well, many communities, but that community in particular has some really hardcore problems right now that need to be solved, and I think that's one of
yeah,
them. If they can change that mentality and the black community, like I said, I'm talking about a certain type. I mean, because for me, there's three types of black people I've run into in America in my life. You have the foreigner who's come in, and they tend to be very successful and hardworking, so they're not
hmm
really part of the conversation. You have the American who's just normal, just like the rest of us, but just happens to be black. But then you have the black community who is very insular, and they have some problems. And I personally think one of the biggest ones is this aversion to education. And that's a problem, and they need to educate themselves. The smarter they become, the better chances they have. SJW Joshua says, "Stop projecting your inner racism onto black people, Chester." I won't. I shall speak the truth no matter what. But I hope they can solve their problems. And I know there are a lot of celebrities and there's a lot of people in their community who are trying their best to help them and to fix it. And hopefully they'll have success eventually. But hopefully that will be one of the ones that gets fixed sooner than later. But anyway, that's obviously the issue with this because of that flag right there. Racism.
yeah.
Let's watch the trailer. You want to watch the trailer? I do. This could be
Ugh.
frightening, guys. This could be terrifying, just so you know. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. So,
I will say that one thing positive that came out of all the reaction and criticism of this trailer, the director of this actually tweeted out just today saying, thank you for everybody watching the trailer and giving your feedback. We're committed to making a good product, and we'll actually make design changes to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gotta go
forward.
fast.
We'll see how much of a change they'll make.
20 minutes ago, an energy
But
surge knocked
that's
out
at
power
least a
across
positive
the entire
right there.
Pacific Northwest. This
yeah,
needs
well,
someone
you
who can
should.
figure out
That's kind of
exactly what we're
normal,
dealing with.
actually.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
Well, you say it's normal, but I do have to
Are you in
point
charge
you
here?
what has been
Yes, I
occurring
am.
the last year
I'm wrong.
with a lot of
I'm in
directors
charge.
like
to clarify.
Ryan Johnson,
This
In a
is true.
squarely
Paul
ranked hierarchy
Feig,
based on level of critical importance, the
almost every
disparity
other
between us is too vast to
directors,
quantify. Agent Stone?
blaming the fans
The
for
doctor
the
thinks you're
failures
basic.
of their
Listen,
creative
pal,
decisions.
I don't know if you realize I'm sorry, Major. What was your name? Benny? Nobody cares.
All right, Jim Carrey has fallen way out of favor, though.
Oh yeah.
And I get this supposed to be a live action thing, but it's too
Come on.
it's too
I'm telling
not
you,
in. It doesn't look live action. It looks like a cartoon with you. Which hey, we've seen movies that have done that successfully, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But I think the thing that's throwing me off and it throws everybody else off is the legs, dude.
No, but thank you for asking.
It's the legs. It's creepy.
It's not the
Whatever this
legs,
creature
it's his
is,
face, the whole
Our
body.
job is to secure it, neutralize it,
It looks like
see what makes it tick.
they dressed up a kid or a dwarf in blue furry costume with a Sonic the Hedgehog helmet.
Well, here's the thing, though. I have to ask you: how many of these mixed media, live action animation have been successful? Right? They did it with the
the other
Smurfs.
one,
It sucked. They've done it with several characters. It just doesn't work,
the,
right?
well, I mean, the only one that I can say successfully
Do you have your child in
uh,
that bag?
blended it
No.
together was
I mean, yes,
Who
it's a
Framed
child,
Roger
but it's not
Rabbit.
mine.
Yeah, but that was
It's not your child.
intentionally. We're in a
Not
world
like
where
bodies burning
cartoons
an
and
old
people
ham
are existing at the
sandwich.
same time.
Yeah,
It had its
but you said
cosmology.
right. So, but you said which film blended it, and it still blended it regardless of the cosmology. Done
Yeah.
it well and successful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
That doesn't draw my attention at all. I mean, I
yeah.
enjoyed the Sega game, but and I've seen some animation that was fun, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that? It does not. I don't know. No, I don't think
No,
so.
nobody was asking for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Less so than when we saw this trailer. Jim Carrey is in there, and Jim Carrey has been funny for years.
Well, Jim Carrey
Um,
has, gone to some deep, dark, cabin in the woods or cave in the woods and lost his freaking mind. So yeah, and he's had some hard things happen to him as well along the way, but I think they're a little bit self-inflicted. But yeah, Jim Carrey is a whole nother conversation. Picture Trader says nothing changes the fact they use Gangster's Paradise for the trailer, right? As if that
right.
somehow applies. It's weird.
I'm still wondering who made that decision. It's like, what would be awesome with Sonic the Hedgehog? Gangster Paradise.
You know what would have been
I'm like,
smarter is Amish Paradise from Weird Al Yankovic. Now that would have been funny because obviously it's a comedy. So why don't we do
right.
that? That would have been smarter, right?
There's
But
no smart decisions being done in this film, apparently.
well, we have John Teddister says, or that there are disappearing people at, huh? I don't know what that means.
What?
Must have missed something. Joss the Pope Crow says the legs are too long and skinny, and that chin, and pretty much everything else. Yeah, it doesn't work. March Hare says, yeah, I'm out the minute I've seen Carrie is in something these days. Yeah, he's really had a lot of trouble. Pixel says Uncanny Valley makes him even worse. True. I think Detective Pikachu is going to be great though. Maybe. It certainly looks like a better blend with the CG, I suppose. But the problem I have with that is, which is an odd thing, why aren't we hearing the SJWs up in arms screaming and yelling about that, right? Because it's the first live action Pokemon we've ever had, and instead of
Hmm.
having Ash, a Japanese boy, he's a Japanese boy, right? They put in a black kid. Now, why aren't they yelling, and screaming about this misrepresentation, cultural appropriation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Why are we not
You
hearing that?
They can't yell against a black actor.
Yeah, of course they can.
No, they can't. That would mess up. It wouldn't compute because he's also a minority.
I
You
see.
know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But for me, I don't know how much I could care less about Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. Actually, let me see if I can calculate how much less I could care. Oh, I guess it's about 0%. Yeah, yeah. I really don't care.
Oh
My kids might
well,
care though. Denali would probably
yeah.
care, but I could care less about Pokemon.
Well, it's a
Pixel Trader.
family. It's a family thing, so it's not for you,
No, it's not.
Mister
It's not
Grumpy.
for me. Thank you, Brie Larson. And I took my kids to see every one of those damn movies actually. But and they're fun movies.
Yeah,
They are. I
and you
get the idea why kids like it.
and you did a and you sacrificed your time well spent.
I did. Pokemon was fun. The kids enjoyed it. Uh, uh, let's see here. I think Jim Carrey might actually be okay in this. Well, Jim Carrey is made for those kind of roles. He is really good at that. The problem is, we know that Jim Carrey has lost his damn mind. I mean, he's literally a form of insanity is set upon the man. We know this. And for me, I don't know why he's in a movie. I'm kind of wondering why he's not in an institute of some kind. Oh, yeah, that's right, because they shut them all down, didn't they? Sorry. Dillard Draw
You,
says
you
they are
mean
matching
rehab
popular
work?
songs for the age demographic for the game. I okay, all right. What'd you say, Denali?
I was saying that you mean the rehab where it's a revolving door. You just put a ticket of how long you want to be pampered for, and then get out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. Josh the Pope Crow. I don't think that's supposed to be Ash and the Pikachu movie. No, it's not, dude. That's exactly my point. It's the first live action movie with Pokemon, but you're not going to show the original characters. You're going to do something that no one has ever seen and is completely separate from everything it has to do with Pokemon. Now, that could be a good idea in a way that it's different, but I'm just a little bit surprised. It's the first live action. Why are we not seeing the origin story, as it were? But I don't. It doesn't matter to me. If it's good, great. Nick W says it's not for me. Thank you, Brie Larson, Chester 2019. Yes, well, it's true. That's her and many of those other just SJWs that say if you don't like it, don't watch it. So I won't. Thank you. No problem.
Mm,
But like I said, that movie isn't for me, and I know my kids will probably check it out, and they'll let me know. Uh,
yeah.
Diller says, separate the art from the artist, Chester. Fine. Guys are all judgmental. Just judgmental people. Now, I got a ton of news here, so I need to choose what I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Well, John is always judgmental. That's nothing new.
This right here might be a little interesting. They're going to make a Saints Row movie or TV show.
Movie.
Yeah, this could be interesting, I suppose. Although it's really difficult to take a video game and make it into a movie because a video game is a video game, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
and this is a parody of well, it became a parody of the Grand Theft Auto series anyway. So they're making a movie parody of it would be a parody of Grand Theft Auto,
yeah, and
basically.
it's goofy and quirky and weird in a good way. But this is going to be a hard movie to make. I can't even imagine what they would do with this, dude.
I don't know.
Saints Row is a very obscure and extremely eclectic game, actually. So it's a weird news. But hey, we'll see. There's so many mediocre to poor movies out these days. If they do it well, it'll be successful.
Pretty much.
Wow. The dealer says Chester is right-winged extremist incel SJW. Thanks. I don't know that all those words go together, but good for you, John, for spelling properly. So let me see here. That's not it's kind of interesting news. This is talking about Robert Downey's just incredible payday.
Yeah, he got $76 million. There you go.
Yep. Yep. Why? I don't know.
Oh, because he contracted that, so he came out strong.
Yeah, I'm sure they all make good money, and I good on him, I guess. But it's like you don't need that much money to do a movie, dude. You really don't. It's not. You're not worth that, you know. But then again, I guess they're thinking he's selling tickets, so he deserves a piece of the pie. But I have a feeling he's
Yep.
getting a piece of the pie on the back end as well.
Oh
You know.
yeah. So he's winning. As long as these movies are successful, he'll be made for life. But you know what? He deserved it. He started from the beginning where nobody believed in him and he made it work.
He did.
As,
This is true. Fair statement. When Robert Downey was announced for this, I remember very clearly because I was like, huh? Really? I thought it was an odd choice. And it had nothing to do with all his drug troubles and his arrests, and I believe he was actually in prison a bit. But
oh yeah.
It had nothing to do with those things. I just thought it was an odd choice because at that time, Robert Downey was nothing particularly interesting. I mean, he was okay actor. He's fine, but
Hmm.
nothing. He hadn't done anything that caught my eye to beyond the point of knowing his name, which in and of itself is something, I suppose. But I thought it was a weird choice. But then we saw the first Iron Man. I was like, nope, he was born to do that.
Well, he already had the life experiences that Tony Stark needed because he's basically
He is that.
was
Yeah.
able to jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. I could see the madness in the choice, the genius in the madness
Yeah.
of that.
March Harris says video game movies haven't had the best track record. Mario Brothers, Max Payne, Doom, all terrible. Yeah, no, Mario Brothers has its problems, but there were some things in it I did like actually. But no, I don't know. Name a good video game movie. It's oof. Assassin's Creed was horrible.
Yeah, Mario Brothers is the reason why Nintendo said no to any future projects, any movie. They're like, nope. When Mario Brother came out, they're like, no movies will be made with Nintendo characters. That's basically what they said.
It sounded just like that, huh? Okay. But
Yep.
yeah, oh well, it's all good. But let's move on here. What is this?
Oh, Alphabet is the parent company of Google, YouTube, and other companies.
Mhm.
What they have just released their earnings for this past year, and they have lost $70 billion because they went woke.
Yeah, get woke, go
Basically.
broke. Yeah,
Yep.
there's a
So
lot
that's
of.
why I wanted to show.
I get it. Yeah.
So
No, a lot of
yep.
companies have lost a lot of money, and they keep the
And
thing
they
is, you would think they would turn themselves around pretty quickly, but they keep on. They're just driving off the cliff. They're like a bunch of lemons.
right. And they specifically cited that it was one of the major factors was YouTube because less engagement and ad revenues
Hmm.
meant less revenues to come in. So
Right?
that's where they.
Kind of works like that, doesn't
So
it?
that's where exactly.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
that was interesting news, especially since we're dealing with YouTube and what we're at.
yeah. But
What
I
we
mean,
are.
you see, there's a little thing here trending now. This is, of course, CNBNC, toxic, pure toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Yeah.
look over here on the sidebar, the things they're talking about, look at this. Pelosi says, I don't care what Pelosi says. She's an absolute maniac who lies constantly. She's an evil human. Burger King takes on McDonald's with a range of unhappy meals. Okay, that's probably not going to work. Millennials are pouring into these smaller cities and buying homes. Well, I don't know that you actually did your research on this because millennials don't have money, which is kind of the problem, dude. Elon Musk is to investors. Self-driving will make Tesla a $50 billion company. I don't want no one else driving my car, particularly no damn AI. I like to drive, Mr. Musk. You bastard. And what is this? Beyond Meat's surge is 160% in best IPO so far in 2019. So, yeah, someone's making money. Awesome. And Beyond Meats kind of sounds like some vegan idiocy. So, have fun with that. Anyway, moving
Yeah.
on. Ooh, what's this?
So Marvel Studios for Disney Plus shows, they're going to be about 6 to 8 episodes long. People were thinking, oh, it's going to be 13 or 20. No, they're coming out and saying, no, it's not going to be that long. They're going to be 6 to 8 episodes
Well, these are
for
test
like
series, right?
WandaVision.
They're coming out to see if
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
worth putting time and effort into them, is what they're doing, I think, right?
pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. And I don't know. That we got the Falcon here, and
Hmm.
he's with Winter Soldier, right?
Right.
And we also had the Loki thing they were talking about, and I don't know. We'll check them out, see if they're any good. But it's an odd choice of characters to take on their own, particularly this. The Wanda and Vision thing might be okay because it's going to be a romantic drama, I'm assuming. And we'll see. The other one, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, are going to be some kind of buddy cop thing, I guess. I don't know, but we'll see. I guess
Mm.
I don't have any anticipation. I think it would have been much smarter on their part to take characters that no one has seen yet and introduce those characters in these short little seasons to see if there's any interest there. I think that would have been smarter than taking all these characters we already know. But the reason they're doing that, and the same thing they did in Endgame, is this is the future they want to push as far as Avengers go, right? And it's like, why? I don't get it, but we'll see. There's nothing more to that than we'll see. And I understand what they're doing. So let's move over here.
Yeah,
What's this?
it's pure. Oh, Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama is nominated for an Eisner Award.
Oh, wow. Nice. Cool. It's too bad the Eisner has no volume anymore. Oh,
I know, that's what everybody's been saying. I
well, it
wish
has
it
no
was
volume
in.
anymore. They've totally, just like the Oscars, they've made it completely political. And when you do that, it takes away the value of the thing. That is what it is, man. And I don't even
Yeah,
know if this
and
guy's
I
still
know that.
alive. Is he still alive?
he is still alive because he's still drawing and animating for Square Enix. He did a recent Dragon Ball Quest video game just recently.
Did he? Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I thought he was dead, but cool.
Chester always thinking everybody's dead.
Well, he's really old, dude. That dude is super old, right?
Yeah,
But glad to see he's still working and doing stuff. Glad to see he get some recognition. It's certainly very popular. I personally never cared anything about Dragon Ball, but there's a certain generation that absolutely loves it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Lorenzo Slisak says, "Come join me at my live stream after this stream is over. Please do." But do keep in mind that 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are doing the drone recorded though. But yeah, I guess congratulations. Next, huh?
So from CNBC, industry leaders and insiders are saying that Netflix, to grow their business, they're going to have to implement ads in their shows.
Aren't they
Um,
getting paid already?
right, and they're raising the subscription because the cost of their productions.
I see. So maybe
So
they're wasting too much money on too much crap instead of focusing, and instead of them taking responsibility for their idiocy, they're going to blame us and not even give us more higher charge on our cost. They're also going to burden us with the stupidity of advertisement. Excellent. Sounds great.
right, yeah.
So I
So
guess
basically,
so who's going to win? Is it going to be Amazon or DC Plus now? Because Netflix is basically handing in the towel by doing this.
well, it might be Disney Plus. I
Maybe.
mean, because the reason why is because if it's easy to find movies and videos on like uh, Amazon Prime, then because Amazon Prime has like over thousands of shows, but you don't know what they have because they don't really advertise as well because of their dashboard interface. If they're able to fix that, then I think a lot of people would be paying more for Amazon Prime,
Mm.
and I think
Well, I think Amazon doesn't have enough original content. Mainly, they have older
yeah,
stuff though, which is kind of cool. You can
right,
find older stuff there. But I think when Disney Plus lands, it's going to be this monolith that's going to just tear the hell out of everything, and which is bad thing because we know Disney cannot be trusted to maintain anything. Too much
right,
politics. But this is not a good sign for Netflix. Certainly not. This right here is coming from Geekdom Movies, which I do like
sure,
Geekdom. He does a lot of posting on the Fanspeak page, which is really cool. And he's got a little story here, which I think is cool. He says, writers of Infinity War and Endgame open to writing an origin Moon Knight movie for Marvel Studios. Now, open to. Now, this is you're talking about the writers over there, which is part of the Russo brothers team, right? Or at least it was.
hmm
And he also goes in a little bit of the future stuff, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Moon Knight. Now, here's the thing, though: does Moon Knight need a movie? Excuse me. And if he does, how do you do it in such a way that does not have people immediately saying, "Oh, it's a Batman ripoff"? Because the general population certainly has no clue who Moon Knight is, right?
Yeah, I don't think they could do it as a movie, especially with everything that the baggage that Moonlight comes with. It would be better as a TV show to kind of let it, breathe a little bit and get around the idea he's a Batman ripoff, which he is, but
Hmm.
he has a lot of other things going on, like mental health issues
Yeah.
and all these other things. And unfortunately, Hollywood hasn't given me confidence that they could tell that story well
Yeah. Well,
in
the
a
thing.
2 hour and less movie.
Well, since the inception of Moon Knight, the creators have done everything they can to distance it from Bruce Wayne and Batman. So this is why the characters actually become quite different these days. But actually, there was one particular run which I don't know why they never stuck with, but there was a particular run where the spirit of Khonshu was in him. And which it still is, which causes insanity, but it was in him to the point that depending on on the phase of the moon, he would be stronger and stronger and stronger. And him having that supernatural aspect of supernatural strength and speed and stuff like that, and attaching the detective aspect to it, I think
Hmm.
that is where they should go. That is what you should focus on. Make him this supernatural powerhouse that is also a detective, because we don't have that combination in the movies anyway, really.
But
And if
but
they
that
went and
but that
focused on the detective more, that would be good because the Batman movies don't really focus on that enough, I think.
right. But the issue that's coming is that he has mental issues because of that possession.
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah, yeah.
So you have to be in this climate. You have to be more careful about those sort of things because people are easily triggered, which is unfortunate.
Oh no,
And it
a certain small portion who are very loud are triggered. The rest of us aren't. Don't care anything about it at all.
right, but you know, as you can see, those loud people are getting everybody to bend their knees because they're very loud, like Mastercard and Discovery and etc. etc.
Yeah, but see, we
Just
just saw with a simple thing with Google, they've got woke and they're going broke. And this is happening
right,
across the board because the general
right,
population do not care about this nonsense and it's frustrating. But beyond
right.
that point, though, Moon Knight as a show, what do you think? Is it a success or not?
Yeah, as a show, I see as a success. As a movie, I don't see it because it needs more time for those higher concepts
Mm.
or
I
those concepts
Yeah, no, you're
to
right.
grow.
I do love Moon Knight, but I just don't know that they could sell it. But it's interesting that they're talking about it. But I think I've heard them talking about this for a long time, and they never pull the trigger because of what we just talked about.
Right.
And I have a feeling they won't pull the trigger here now, unfortunately. But what's
Hmm.
this here? Get out of here! What are you doing? We don't need advertisements. Um, oh yeah, this one. Marvel and Hulu set live-action Ghost Rider and Hellstorm series Gabriel Luna to reprise role of Robbie Reyes. Now, what do you
Yeah.
think about the new Ghost Rider, the new the car instead of the motorcycle, the Latino fella? What do you think about him on
I
Agents of
mean,
Shield?
I mean, he's good. It's just not Ghost Rider. He's Ghost Driver.
Yeah, no, it is different.
That,
It is different, but I
yeah.
like it kind
I
of.
mean,
But
right.
hey,
I mean, I don't have any issues. He's just not Ghost Rider to me.
true, but the Ghost Rider character does lend itself to actually having changes to it. Now we know why he's Latino because you got to have that diversity. You got to have that politic. We get that.
Hmm.
But putting that aside, I have no problem with it. I think it's a cool character actually. And the Ghost Rider is very easy to do that kind of thing. You can change the Ghost Rider no problem. We have the horse riding one, we got the motorcycle one, we got the car one here. But it's interesting. What about Hellstorm here? Now, Hellstorm is some kind of super powered version of Constantine. What is this?
I guess. I mean, I haven't really read any of Hellstorm series in the past.
Well, the Hellstorm is just the Constantine storyline, right? But
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
I'm just maybe the picture that Deadline chose is throwing me off. But pretty sure it's just Constantine. Someone in the chat helped me out with that. Yeah, they've tried Constantine a couple of times now, and it's not really clicked. So, but are these going to be animated though? No, no, they're not because Robbie Reyes is reprising his role. Hmm.
It's gonna be a live action. Let me see.
Well,
Let
I
me
think people
see.
do like the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. I think they might find some success with that.
Mm.
Interesting. All right. Well, let me see if the chat has any information for me. Eric says, I love Moon Knight and would love to see him on the screen, but I don't think Hollywood can pull it off either way. Yeah, I don't have any faith in them. They've shown themselves to be completely untrustworthy. Anyway, moving on here. Oh, what's this? A
Willow
Willow TV
TV
show?
show.
Yeah, go ahead,
It's
dude.
in talks for So they're talking to Ron Howard, and he mentioned that they have a they're in talks to make or to produce a Willow TV show for Disney Plus.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Joshua. Hellstorm is a Marvel character. Constantine is DC. So my brain is not connecting because the Constantine
So,
comic series is Hell something. Um,
yeah,
he thinks Hellstorm
and
is a
it's
Doctor Strange character. Why don't I know that offhand? But okay, thank you.
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think about Willow as a TV series? It might be fun.
yeah. I mean, I think people were expecting something else when Willow came out, and when they saw this, people didn't appreciate it. But I think over time, people started appreciating the movie more after the initial release. So I'm pretty sure there's an audience for Willow and whatever storyline is. I think people are more open minded for that particular movie
Well, I liked Willow quite a bit actually. Of
property.
course, this is Ron
Hmm.
Howard with Lucas over his shoulder, of course. But I liked Willow fine. I think there was some wonky things that they didn't have CG for at that time that they could cover up and fix this time. And I think it was there was complaints that it was too similar to Star Wars in story, which is kind of true. And I think they would have to work out the story a little bit. But there's certainly something fun here. They would have to make it fun though, not so dark series like Game of Thrones or something. But I
Right.
don't know. I don't know.
Unless it's a continuation with the princess baby all grown up,
Maybe right. There you go.
would fall into
Hellblazer.
the
There you
whole.
go. Thanks, Eric. That's right. Hellblazer.
Yeah,
That's what was throwing me off, guys. Hellblazer.
yeah,
Because I like the Constantine character. Anyway, let's continue. We're doing pretty good. We're almost done.
yep.
Oh no, Geekdom movies. Put another thing up. I should decide to do. Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson will produce Black Widow movie. Okay, all right. I don't know how much experience she has with that, but she's been around a while. She probably knows the industry well now. And I
Right.
like Scarlett.
Since she was a kid.
She what?
Since she's been a kid. She's been in the industry since she's been a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so I think she knows it quite well. I think she might be able to do that. I do like Scarlett. I don't know that the problem with her is that she's really can't carry a movie by herself. Is the problem. She's good when she's part of an ensemble or with somebody else. So I think if she's smart, she needs to have Black Widow with somebody, so a strong, really strong actor, or at least someone at least her level, so that together they can be one good actor that can move the movie forward. Well,
Together, they'll combine to be one awesome robot.
well, you know what I mean.
Anyway,
She's a solid actress, but she doesn't have the chutzpah
Chris.
to pull it off by herself. We've seen her try. I think Lucy was a good example. It was a fun movie, but it's not very memorable, right? But
Right.
I wish her nothing but luck. I like Scarlett, so I hope she has success with it. I just don't
Yeah.
think anyone really wants a Black Widow movie. I just don't.
And I believe this is a prequel. They mentioned that like in a couple articles
Which it brings up
earlier.
another problem. And she's a very glamorous lady, but she is older. She's not going to be able to pull off a young Black Widow unless she's going to be producing it and not actually starring in it, which would be an interesting choice.
Right.
So
We'll find out.
we will. Yeah, I just hope I wish her good luck is the best thing I can say with this, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're almost at the end. Matter of fact, this is our last story of the day. Perfect. It's perfect. We did it. We did a good job with a lot of stories, dude. This is from
Yeah.
Bleeding Cool, which is interesting unto itself. And
Yeah, you need it.
headline: Ethan Van Sciver commissions retail exclusive Dynamite crossover covers with Cyberpunk, beginning with Vampirella. And it's kind of interesting that Mike did Vampirella yesterday. Go ahead,
Mm.
Denali.
Yeah, so they're talking about that there's a contract between EVS and Dynamite to produce variant covers. And as you mentioned, they're starting that variant cover with Vampirella. So you're going to see a lot of Cyberfrog in retailers.
Yep.
So, yay.
Yay. Well, we knew this kind of thing was going to happen. We knew that they had some stuff working behind the scenes, and those things fell through because it sounded like Ethan wanted to have the whole pie to himself, which I guess I get. And it looks like he got the pie to himself. So there you go. Congratulations, Ethan. Oh, look at that
Yep.
Vampirella. I don't know how those two things go together at all, but rock on.
Cheesecake.
Well,
Cheesecake.
cheesecake, but that's that Cyberfrog is not cheesecake. It's a cool character, I guess, but I'm not really sure how much legs Cyberfrog has actually, and I that is pun intended. And I'm not really sure. What do you think? I mean, it's a cool little character, and I'm glad for all of Ethan's success and such. But do you really think this character has legs, though?
It really depends on the story. If the story is good and people enjoy the character, then they'll continue buying that comic book.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true. And of course, we are still waiting, Ethan. Ethan. Because I don't even have any kind of clue when this book might even be on us. I have no
Um,
idea whatsoever. I don't even think he's done with it. Is he even done with it?
Not that I'm aware of. I
Hmm.
mean, I think the last update, unless he changed it recently, was supposed to be released in July, but things happen and things could change.
Well, I tell
You
you
know,
what, I
we'll, we
certainly
we
my
might see another fourth edition of
the
run of
same thing over.
Cyberpunk
Yeah, he does it.
with a different
But hey,
cover
people
art.
spend the money, so I mean, you can get
Yeah,
angry
yeah.
at him, but hey, people are spending the money, so it is what it is. The only thing I would really warn against is to make sure that you fulfill all of your Indiegogo customers before this happens, though. Because if this hits the stands before people get their Indiegogo packs, oof, that's not going to be good, dude.
Yeah.
But
That's the only concerning thing.
it is
If
concerning, and I'm sure he knows that. But
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm happy for Ethan. Any success he has, good for him. I hope this character blows up for him and becomes a mainstream thing. I do. I don't know that it catches my eye for being something that has a long-lasting appeal, but maybe it will, and it will come down to the story. You're right, but I hope he has success. This is good news, but I really think we really want to have more updates and know what's going on because I have Mike Miller's book. I got it. It was a little late, but not horribly so. Right. Mitch had put his thing out for Red Rooster as being a little less tight on his time schedule, but it's still, we need to see that book. You know what I mean? We need to see that book. And but I have no information whatsoever. Do you have any information on Red Rooster at all?
Well, supposedly the time estimate was for February. We're now in May, so and he's only been tweeting out the Futurist comics, but not really so much about Red Rooster at the moment. So I think he's still in the production stage of drawing it, and his wife Betty coloring it.
Hmm. All
Um,
right. Well, we just have to be patient,
yep.
and wait and see. Eric Hawkins says, "I heard he only had 4 pages left to go last week." Okay, that's cool, but it's only a 46-page comic. That's it. It's just a 46-page comic, and this his campaign was running in what, August or July of last year?
July of last year.
Yeah. So looking at 1 year to being in our hands, okay, that's a bit much. That's not a really good production rate. It's not. But it's the first time him doing this. Indiegogo, okay, we can forgive all of that. But that is a rough schedule. 1 year to get a 46-page book out, really, really, really. And the thing, and people say, well, don't complain about Ethan. Well, but it's fair to, because I was doing with the Tales from Beyond the Gate crew, right? And we will be coming and relaunching that in the future. We're just taking a break and going to come back to it. We got real close, but I was working with all those artists and seeing what they're doing. And a lot of those guys were putting down some really hard, really good work. Like, for instance, Pedro Lara, who is doing the Llorona story. That's basically done. It's ready for colors, right? And that is a really tight little schedule. So I've seen the rate at which artists can do stuff. So you're telling me 1 year for a 46 pager? No, dude. No. I know better because I've seen it happen in front of me, right?
I I think one thing that's slowing him down, because we do see the pictures, that's color and everything, is that he puts a lot of details, and the more detail. And I think we had this discussion. I think a couple weeks ago. The more detail you put, the more you're going to slow down on it.
Oh
And
no, I
I
mean
think,
it.
and I think that's what's killing him a lot.
Probably, yeah. And if he gives us like the most beautifully illustrated comic of all time that comes out, no one's going to have any complaints whatsoever.
Yeah,
True, true,
yeah,
true, true. That's true. I'm just saying it's unfortunate that he got himself into this situation, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he's also trying to maintain a YouTube channel and doing all other kind of stuff. Obviously, he's working behind the scenes to make deals, and that's all good. That's all well and good. So we'll just have to wait and
right.
see. I'm not ranting on Ethan at all. There's no need to. I just think that it is a bit slow, buddy. But yeah,
I
Eric
totally
Hawkins
agree with
says
that.
Ethan supposedly had to have it to his editor by April 30th, I believe. All right, cool. At least we're
Mm,
getting some deadline information. That's nice.
yep.
Yeah. He's been
So
adding
Whistle.
pages apparently. Okay, well that's a good thing too. Because I think a lot of people are also complaining for the high dollar value. The book was very small, and this is why you've seen a lot of other campaigns have been trying to boost the size of their books to meet that perception. And it is unfortunate because we can't be part of the mass production and lower costs and stuff that's going on through Diamond and things like that. Therefore, of course, it's going to be more expensive for the book, and also the shipping is going to kill you because we don't have that. You can't go down to the comic book store and pick it up, and all those prices being absorbed by simply thousands of books being printed per issue. This is the problem, right? This is why people don't do direct market comic books, and we're trying to do something over here and make it work. And it's also why you're seeing so many people over in this community are trying to start their own distribution companies. They're trying to start their own printing companies, et cetera, to try to solve this problem. Of course, Ben Henderson over at Questionnaire Comics is one of the big people involved with that. And we know that Pixel Trader, of course, the creator of Indicron, a sponsor of this channel, he is working with them to create something even more dynamic. So it's cool. We're seeing all these people do these things, a lot of things happening, but we're still in that rut. We're still in the fact that it costs us more to do what the big companies can do simply. But the problem is they're not giving us what we want. So over here, we need to see really good content, really good art continuously. And as we said before, the cream will rise to the top. So I wish Ethan all the luck in the world, but it is getting a bit long, I think.
Hmm. Was
That
that what that ends our show?
It does end our show. Eric Hawkins says, at this point, he can't have anything not up to par in that book. He will be crucified if it isn't anything less than spectacular. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. And he's put himself in that position. He has. And
With a
do
lot of his
understand, once
comments.
again, I'm not knocking on Ethan. I'm really not. I'm just saying that he has put himself in a really tough situation with this book being so late. And he really needs to knock out of the park. He really, really does. It's like with we saw Lone Star, Mike's Lone Star. Beautiful looking book. Did you read it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't read it.
You didn't read it, haven't read it yet.
Mhm.
I haven't either. I need to sit down and read the book because I got a whole bunch. I'm kind of behind because I've got a whole bunch of these things coming in, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
read them, and he's just sitting in the stack. So I really need to go read that because Mike was under a similar situation, although he got his out much more promptly. Although they came out very similar times, right? But
Right.
the art in that book, I did thumb through it. The art looks wonderful. Now I just need to see if the story's any good. Anybody here read Mike's book, Lone Star? How was it? Just curious. Eric says he's on that old image schedule. Yeah, right. Yeah. But
Mm,
you
yeah.
know,
No, there's a lot of these campaigns came at the same time. So
they did. Yeah.
and I don't know when the next book are going to come out. So I just have to take it. I'm not going to rush reading through all of them. I'm just going to take my time and enjoy them because I never know when the next campaign or the next story will come. And it's not like a tight schedule where you're like, oh, etc. But anyways.
But it is kind of interesting little article because it isn't talking so much about Cyberfrog being, its own thing. He's talking about doing these crossover comic covers, right? And
Hmm.
it's an interesting thing. It's good promotion actually. It's smart promotion on his part. So it's cool. But anyway, that will be it for today, I think. We certainly covered a lot of news here today. Thank you guys all for joining us as usual. And just come up over here and switch back over. Yeah, I guess that kind of covers it. We do have in about 50 minutes from now, of course, we will be doing the Drone Recorded Fan Edition. We do hope that you all come over there and join us for that because that's a lot of fun, of course. And I see George has popped in here at the last second, as usual. Hey, George,
Greetings.
is that it,
Greetings.
George?
I am very happy to be here. It's wonderful news.
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention, speaking of news, is Peter Mayhew.
Oh, right. Peter Mayhew passed away April 30th in his North Texans home. Well, rest in peace, Chewy.
Yeah, Chewie's left from us, and he's been having a real lame for a while. Had a lot of trouble, but he isn't particularly old though. How old was he?
He was 74.
Oh, okay. He was particularly old. Okay, but I live in Japan, where the average age is like 90. So I suppose it throws me off a bit. But okay, yeah, no, he had a good full life, and of course he's legend. Chewbacca shall always be loved. I mean, even through the debacle that's going on with Disney, Chewbacca's still cool.
Yeah.
Even in Solo, Chewbacca was cool.
Oh, yeah, that was the only bright spot in that film.
Yeah.
So, they got Chewbacca right. I can't
They
say
did.
anything
They
about...
did.
I can't say anything else about the other portrayals of other characters.
Oh no, it was a horrible movie, but yeah, definitely Peter Mayhew, safe journey, sir. Nick W says Uncle Ethan's shipping date in July. Everyone will get their books. Oh, I'm sure we'll all get our books, dude. I never doubt that actually. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I really hope it's a great book. I have my fingers crossed. You know what I really, really want though is I want him to finish it and get it done because what I want is Rainbow Brute, man. That interests me way more than Cyberfrog, actually. I mean, I back Cyberfrog because one, it's Ethan. I mean, he is probably the best illustrator in the West right now. He's near the top. I mean, Ethan's amazing. But his Rainbow Brute is really what interests me. That's what I want, but he can't really get on that until he gets this one done. So that's why I'm eager to have it done. I want to see Cyberfrog done and passed because I want Rainbow Bright. That's what I want. Rainbow Brute, excuse me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a one-off since it's a parody.
It is, but I'm looking forward to that book. It sounds fun.
Yeah. Fun in the sun.
Yeah.
They should be starting it within the next month. The moment Cyberfrog goes to print.
Yeah. I know. That's what I mean. I want it done. I want Cyberfrog done and out and finished so that we can get Rainbow Brute. That's what I want. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So anyway,
He's been waiting. He
waiting.
wants it. Yeah.
All right, but thank you guys all for joining us. Of course, like I said, here in a short bit, we have the Drone Recorded Fan Edition. Come check that out. Of course, we do everything here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Something's going on, except for Friday. Tomorrow, we don't have anything because I'm going to be up in the. I have responsibilities. Nevertheless, Janelli, take us out, man.
Well, I have one announcement before you guys go.
Okay.
Joe King is the 96-page full-color graphic novel is available for $40 flat, shipping anywhere in the world.
Awesome.
So, if you're interested in Joe King, or you,
it's on Indiegogo. It's in demand. 96 pages of great superhero action and comedy. 96 pages, full color, for $40, shipping free anywhere in the world.
All right. Rock on. Go check it out, guys. All right, Janelle, take us out, man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Go check out Joe King on Indiegogo. Join us less than an hour from now for a Drawn Quarter. Have you guys decided what theme you're gonna do?
Not offhand. I have to wait and see what Pixel has done, but I have one thing at a time. So I do this show, and then I change my mindset here in a second. It's gonna be all on that. So I'll see what they've decided, but I have a feeling it will be. I think I know what I'm gonna do. But I
Okay.
got to go talk to the artist, of course.
All right. Well, then, as I always say, your perception shapes your reality. So always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Say,
Later, guys.
aloha.